well, permit me an editorial comment. If they go on strike, they can give them all pink slips.
At least that will be by their choice. Today, a lot of guys are walking around hoping they don't hear the knock on the door saying, hey, Coach wants to see you. They call him the Turk, and he struck around the National Football League today as several veteran players got copies of the home game. The biggest cuts of the day came in Miami, where Don Shula waved goodbye to wide receiver Nat Moore, the Dolphins' all-time leading receiver, and running back Tony Nathan, who gained over 3,500 yards for the Dolphins in his 8 years in Miami. Shula said the cuts were tough, and Moore and Nathan seemed to understand.
Well, I think it's more just disappointment. You know, I had a feeling it was coming. You know, sometimes you can see the handwriting on the wall, but you know, I felt like I could overcome that, and I wasn't able to. So, you know, that's life.
It's another youth movement now, you know, and I guess it's that time. So, you know, like when I came in, it was, you know, he was making a move to, you know, go with younger players then. So, and the decision they made then, I guess, you know, worked out for him. But hopefully things the way he's doing now, the decision he made now work out for him this time. Yeah, I wish him the best.
Other moves today as the teams pare their rosters down to the 45-man limit, which they must do by tomorrow. The Chicago Bears have placed quarterback Jim McMahon on the injured reserve list. That shoulder injury is still bothering him. He'll be out at least 6 weeks. Bears coach Mike Ditka says Mike Tomczak will start for Chicago next Monday night against the New York Giants. Also going on the injured list today, Raiders defensive back Lester Hayes. The Minnesota Vikings released veteran running back Ted Brown. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers signed former University of Miami nose guard Dan Cilio after the NCAA had ruled on Friday Cilio had used up his college eligibility. And the Bucs also released Alabama quarterback Mike Shula, so the Bucs will keep just two quarterbacks, Steve DeBerg and rookie Vinny Testaverde. Bucs coach Ray Perkins is said to be leaning towards starting the veteran DeBerg in the season opener Sunday against Atlanta. Meanwhile, today the NFL Owners Management Council sent a new proposal on a collective bargaining agreement to the Players Union, but Union Chief Gene Upshaw called the plan garbage. NFL player reps are scheduled to meet tomorrow in Washington, D.C. to vote on a strike date. Meanwhile, the Florida State Seminoles' 40-16 victory over Texas Tech Saturday night has them moving on up in the latest UPI coaches poll just released this evening. The Seminoles check in at number 11 in this week's poll. The Oklahoma Sooners retain their top dog status. They garnered 44 first-place votes. Nebraska remains number 2, followed by UCLA, Auburn, and Ohio State. LSU is number 6, Miami in at number 7, Michigan is 8th, Penn State 9th, and Clemson 10th. There, the Seminoles starting off the second 10, followed by Arkansas, Washington, Arizona State, and Tennessee. Rounding out the poll, Notre Dame, Alabama, Pittsburgh, and North Carolina and Southern Cal. Also tonight, the first Florida high school poll before the season opens Friday night. In Class 5A, Pensacola, Washington is on top with Panama City Mosley second. Pensacola High is number 1 in Class 4A with a pair of Tallahassee teams, Godby and Leon also in there. Class 3A has Live Oak Sewanee as the top team. Perry Taylor County checks in at number 3 and Wakullers at number 8. Class 2A, Monticello 5th, Chipley 6th, and Florida High 9th, and FAMU High is the number 3 team in Class 1A. Labor Day traditionally marks the start of the stretch run in baseball as the major leagues head down the final month of the season. Today, the American League East leading Toronto Blue Jays were in Milwaukee taking on the Brewers, and in the top of the first, Blue Jay outfielder George Bell is hit in the face with a pitch from Milwaukee starter Bill Wegman. Now, Bell is tied for the major league lead in homers, so if he's out, it's going to hurt. He was taken for x-rays, though. They proved negative. The Jays got 3 runs in the 8th. A Tony Fernandez single tied things at 3. A wild pitch and a sac fly won it for Toronto 5-3. Out west, the Twins bombed the Chicago White Sox 8-1. Tom Brunansky went deep, deep, deep for the 29th time this season to lead Minnesota, who came into tonight's action with a 3-game lead on the Oakland A's in the Western Division. There, coming up, you'll see these 2 second-place teams. The Detroit Tigers are in Baltimore tonight, hanging tough behind Toronto. They beat Baltimore tonight 12-3, and Oakland at home leading the Texas Rangers 1-0 in the 6th. Elsewhere, the Yankees trounced Boston 9-5. Seattle topped Cleveland today 6-4, and KC over California 5-2. National League, the Mets 3 back of St. Louis entering tonight, and at the top of the first, Philadelphia's Von Hayes singles to left field. Kevin McReynolds is going to come up charging hard, and he's going to try to make the throw to nail Samwell to plate, but his throw is not in time. Samwell scores. The Phils take a 1-0 lead in the 5th. Bottom of the 5th, the Mets get even. Darryl Strawberry lines his single up the middle off Don Carmen. It scores Mookie Wilson, and we're tied at 1. But the Phils get 3 in the 7th off Dwight Gooden. With 2 outs, Samwell with the bases loaded single to right. Lance Parrish and Keith Hughes score. The Phils take a 4-1 lead, and they win it 5-3. The Mets also lost a chance to gain ground in the East because the St. Louis Cardinals lost today to Montreal 9-2. After their series with the Expos, the Cards must play a 3-game set in New York this weekend. The West-leading Giants, meanwhile, lost to Houston 4-2, so the Astros closed the gap there. Cincinnati beat the Dodgers 3-2 in 13 on a home run by Buddy Bell. The Pirates 3-2 winners over the Cubs today. And newsflash, The Braves lose again 11-4 to San Diego. The furious fish activity of early autumn is in full swing. Tuesday, check it out from 6 till 7:30 in the morning, but they'll really be biting from noon to 4 in the afternoon. And the lucky pups at the Jefferson County Kennel Club tonight, the 7-2 combo, paid $78.80. And Frank, that's sports. Also, a couple of big upsets today at the U.S. Open Tennis Tournament. We'll have those highlights coming up right after the news.
Get to see those at 11:30. Boy, I hope they don't strike this
So do I. I don't know what I'm going to do with myself if they do it again.
After 3 games?
I know. They're planning 3 games, but they're going to vote tomorrow on a real strike date and announce it tomorrow. So we'll know that by
And the
tomorrow
sports execs at the networks probably have to line up some putt-putt
night.
golf
Right.
for Sunday afternoon.
And you and me both.